Looking for nerdy news? You're in the right place.
Great. Guy's gonna be late again.
This is the Nerdy News Rundown.
I got plenty of time.
On today's show, the Venom movie rumors. Did Tom Hardy debunk all of that business about the symbiote? Star Wars, the new Thrawn novel released an excerpt. It's really cool. I want to talk about that book. Dragon Ball Super. The series is over. I want to talk about the finale. We're going over all of that, plus your questions.
I'm gonna be late!
I'm your host, Josh Lucas, broadcasting live from Uncanny in the King of Prussia Mall, Philadelphia. Let's get this show started. Hello, 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 all of you beautiful nerds from around the world. What is up, everybody? It's Josh, of course. Welcome to the Monday edition of the Nerdy News Rundown. Are you having a case of the Mondays? I'm not exactly having a case of the Mondays, but I do empathize. Mondays kind of suck for everybody, but we've got some really, really cool news, so I want to get right into the first topic of the day. The first topic of the day is related to this crazy Venom movie. Now, we covered this last week on the show. There was news and rumors out there on the interwebs saying that we were going to get barely any of the Venom symbiote at all in this movie. This was, of course, disconcerting for a lot of different people. They were like, what the heck do you mean we're not getting any Venom symbiote stuff? And Tom Hardy took to social media to sort of try to alleviate all of our fears and to debunk these rumors. So he said something to the effect of, don't believe everything you hear, but he didn't come right out and say anything definitive about how much of the symbiote we are going to get, or how, like, that the rumor was completely false. He more or less just said these are rumors started by people that don't have credibility, that don't have all of the information out there. And I wanted to touch on this story for a couple of different reasons. One, I think there's some insight to glean from what exactly he said and what the future of this movie is going to be. So a lot of people online were like, look, if you do a Venom movie without Venom in it, it's not going to make any sense. Nobody's going to want to see that. And I 100% agree with you. However, people pointed to the budget of the Venom movie and to the history of Sony and kind of said, look, I wouldn't put it past them to do something a little fishy when it comes to the Venom symbiote. Now, here's what my honest-to-God opinion of this is. After I looked at all these different reports, after I looked at what Tom Hardy said, this is what I think is going on. The tendrils, the suit itself being fully venomized, if you will. You can think of it as like the Hulk, right, where he hulks out. Do I think that he is going to fully hulk out in the Venom suit quite often in the movie? I actually do not. But I do not think it's going to be as bad as other people were thinking. They were claiming that it was just going to be a Tom Hardy film with just Tom Hardy, and then at the very end of the movie, he's going to go full Venom and be in the suit. I do think there is truth to that, but I believe that what they're going to do is use the CGI sparingly, where like he'll have like a shield come on his arm, sort of formed from the symbiote, right? That would be pretty sweet. There's also the possibility of him web slinging, doing different things. Like, think of the way Flash Thompson Venom used a lot of his tendrils to like hold different guns and do different things like that. I believe you're going to be seeing a lot of that in the movie, and you will see the Venom symbiote often, but like in that Ang Lee Hulk version thing where he's talking to the symbiote, because Venom is them together. The symbiote, symbiotic relationship, them working together is a part of the flavor. And so even though Tom Hardy came out and said, look, we are not getting, or these rumors are false, he didn't come out and say, it's a Venom movie, you're going to see so much Venom. He didn't say anything like that. Now, is he really allowed to say that? No. But I did find the way he responded to it be very, very interesting. And so that is the report out there. Tom Hardy is saying, look, we are going to be getting Venom symbiote in the movie. When I read between the lines, what I see for this film is that we will be getting it, but it's not going to be him fully Venom. Like, he's not going to be whipping around like Spider-Man. And that's to be expected. I think that it is going to take that horror approach. You know, you've got the Life Foundation. But I will say this, I think we're going to be getting other symbiotes as well. And so I don't think there's going to be any lack of symbiotes in the Venom film as we move forward. It's this, Life Foundation story. It's him in San Francisco. We don't know exactly what the cameo is going to be with Tom Holland, but it is in a world where Peter Parker exists. And I believe that this movie is going to be about the character of Eddie Brock dealing with the Venom symbiote and that relationship. And it's going to be different than the comics, but it's still going to be okay. So I'm really curious. I want to know what everybody thinks about this. There were the rumors out there. Everybody got upset. Some people didn't believe the rumors at all. Tom Hardy comes out, sort of debunks the rumors, but he debunks them in a way that still leaves some credence to what people were concerned about. So not all of our concerns have just faded away. I'm very interested to know what people think about this story. Answer that question in the comment section below. I want to know what everybody thinking about this here Venom movie. All right, now let's move right into the next topic of the day. This has to do with the Thrawn novel. Now, if you know me at all, you know I'm a huge Thrawn fanboy. Absolutely love Timothy Zahn. Got a chance to speak with him about the first Thrawn novel. He is a heck of a writer. And recently, they released an excerpt from the beginning of this book that was very telling for like the nature of the book. And it gives us all sorts of information in a very small excerpt. And so I'm not going to read the excerpt myself, but I recommend everybody going to check out the Stupendous Wave. If you don't already follow the Stupendous Wave, one of the best Star Wars YouTubers out there. He did a thing where he sort of read the excerpts and he sort of edits in some footage of Thrawn and Vader from different media. It's actually really, really cool, and it lays it out there for you. But what I'm going to do here is sort of summarize that and give my thoughts. So the excerpt is from the point of view of Emperor Palpatine, and he's sensing Thrawn and Vader in front of him, and he's sort of sensing their reactions to each other. Now, the timeline is very interesting here. This takes place after the Rebels Season 3 finale, after he faces the Bendu, and after they lose the Rebels that they were trying to capture from that planet. Now, what's really cool about that is that you have Vader talking about the creature, referring to the Bendu. The Emperor is, of course, aware of this, and there is a vergence in the Force, and that is what the mission is for Thrawn and Vader. And so, essentially, the scene for this excerpt is you have Thrawn and you have Vader and the Emperor. The Emperor is telling them about a mission that they are going to go on together, okay? And neither one of them want to do it. Vader doesn't want to do it. He's a Sith Lord. He doesn't want to be subservient at all to anybody but his master. Thrawn doesn't want to mess with Vader, wants to go take his own crew, do his own thing, and he really wants to get Kanan Jarrus. He's all about getting the rebels that he lost, okay? And so what I found so fascinating about this was you get Palpatine toying with them both. He's testing Thrawn's loyalty, and what's going to be really cool about this book is you have Vader, who constantly talks about overthrowing the Emperor, right? And he's thinking about it all the time. He tells his son, you can overthrow the Emperor, we can rule the galaxy together, okay? And so we're getting this character who eventually does kill the Emperor, and you're getting Thrawn, who also doesn't trust the Emperor, doesn't want the Death Star to happen, all of that thing. And these two are going to go on a mission together, and the Emperor is basically trying to test their loyalty. Now, another canon junkie aspect of this that is very, very cool is the fact that this thing, whatever this threat is, whatever this dark side thing is, it's in Chiss space, it's out in the unknown regions, and I'm telling you, it's going to have a tie to Snoke. Maybe not directly to Snoke, but to this dark side thing out there that Snoke was after, that Palpatine was after. Everybody's searching for this thing, and it could be the threat that Thrawn was talking about from the first book. So I wanted to bring this news to you, talk about why you guys should all be pumped about this. If you're a big Star Wars fan, this is huge news. Even if you're not that into it, peripherally, it might tie into something that is used down the line. This could be in the Rian Johnson trilogy. This could be in the future show. It's a big deal. Whatever's going on out there with the Chiss in the unknown regions is a super big deal. So I wanted to bring that to everybody's attention. Please, guys, let me know what you think about all of that. I'm very curious to hear what people think. Are you pumped about this book? Did you read the first one? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Let's get in to the third topic of the day. The third topic of the day is Dragon Ball Super related. Over the weekend, we said goodbye to this series. Maybe just for now, but at least for now, we have said goodbye to Dragon Ball Super. Episode 131 was the finale of the current arc, which was the Tournament of Power arc. Now, I know not everybody's hardcore Dragon Ball people that watch the show, so I just wanted to break this down a little bit, talk to those that are hardcore fans, and explain why I felt like the ending in the finale was so great and what it sets up for the future of Dragon Ball. So, Goku as a character, one of the things that's sort of become a part of his DNA, one of the things that people know him for, is that he takes enemies and he sort of turns them around. Goku is just so pure-hearted, and he's such a kind, a forgiving guy, that his enemies end up admiring him despite sort of still hating him. And the finale of Dragon Ball Super was a perfect example of this aspect of Goku's character. Frieza, who is the ultimate villain of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. He kills Krillin in front of Goku, makes Goku become a Super Saiyan. He destroyed the home world of the Saiyans, killing millions of Saiyans. Evil dude, super evil dude. Even he comes to work with Goku, fight alongside him, and they literally have sort of bro moments. Even Vegeta in the Saiyans is looking at it and getting a little jealous of it, because they have a bro moment and they end up working together, literally sacrificing themselves to beat the big villain, who was this character called Jiren, and allow them to win. Then Android 17, who was another villain from Goku's past, wins the Tournament of Power, gets the wish. This whole tournament is about getting a wish that you could do anything. And these universes have been eliminated during this tournament. And so 17 has the opportunity to wish for something selfish or to wish all the universes back. And spoiler alert here, guys, if you haven't seen the finale, you might want to check out. He ends up wishing all the universes back, and we find out that if that wish had not been made, if a selfish wish had been made, the Omni King was going to destroy all of the universes. And so that is where we leave the series. Everybody's back. All these characters that we spent time with are now back. The relationships are still established. And the series ends with Goku and Vegeta having a fight and talking about how a Saiyan's power has no limit. Now, as far as what we can expect for the future of Dragon Ball, there were hints all over this episode that Toei is trying to let fans know we will be back. Goku will be back. Don't freak out. And this has sort of been a narrative that I've been running with if you've been watching the show for a while. Toei Animation deciding to put Dragon Ball Super on hold pissed a lot of fans off. It confused us. It got us fired up. At the end of the day, it was what they needed to do to secure the future of this series. This movie that's coming out in 2018 about Saiyans and about their strength, that is going to be incredible. It's going to be super, super dope. And I think when Dragon Ball Super returns to anime form on television, it will be in a much better place. I think Toei is learning from its mistakes, and it realizes how big the Dragon Ball fan base is. I mean, for God's sakes, Emergency Awesome, who's Charlie, who's, in my opinion, literally the best entertainment YouTuber out there, literally the best. He covered the ending of Dragon Ball Super. I mean, that's crazy to me. The thing is so hype. So many people love it. It's going to be back, and I think it's going to be back better than ever. So I wanted to touch on that topic. I'm very curious, if you're a Dragon Ball fan, what did you think of the finale? If you're kind of not super hardcore with Dragon Ball, but you like it, I mean, are you going to check out the finale? Are you going to check out the movie in December? I'm really interested to know what everybody thinks about all of that. Hit me up with that in the comment section below. All right, now let's get to this. This is an interesting topic, guys. This has to do with something we're going to do on the show tomorrow. And way back in the day, and I mean way back in the day, probably like a year and a half ago when this channel had like 300 or 500 subscribers, I used to do a thing called Top 5 Tuesdays. And I would do my top 5 of something and break it down and do it in a short video segment. And so I'm actually going to put a poll on the community tab for this channel, and I'm going to put one on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. I want you guys to vote on what top 5 you want me to do. I'm playing around with different ideas right now, including like my top 5 favorite Jedi, my top 5 favorite Sith, different things like that. So I'm going to put the top 5 in the poll, and I want you guys to go vote on that. And whatever gets the most votes by tomorrow morning, I will consolidate that list, and we'll do it here on the show, because we're bringing Top 5 Tuesdays back to the Nerdy News Rundown. It's going to be super cool, so look for that on the community tab. Look for that on social media. All right, guys, so let's get into the last topic of the day. This is a fan question. This question actually came to me from someone in real life. IRL. I know, it's crazy. Real world. It really exists. My buddy Kelvin, who knows, of course, that I'm a huge nerd and that I do all of these nerdy things, he wanted to know what I thought about the Krypton show. And I did check out Krypton last week. I thought it was a very good pilot, so I'll give you my little like diatribe here and sort of break it down for you really quickly. So I like Krypton. It wasn't like incredibly impressive. It's like your average sort of pilot. However, the world building that they did for Krypton, I thought was incredible. It's very science fiction. It's very sort of different houses, departments, has a very Game of Thrones-esque feel to it. I love what they did with the House of El and how they were dishonored and they were not ranked, and so they're living in poverty. There's sort of like a secret that has to do with the Fortress of Solitude from the generations past. You get Adam Strange coming back, talking to Superman's grandfather. It's all very, very interesting. I'm excited to see where we go from here. I will say this. If you're a big Superman fan, you would absolutely love the show. I can't see you not loving the show if you're a big Superman fan, if you like DC stuff. If you're not that into it, I think you might view the show as a little bit boring, a little bit slow-paced, and there's no superheroes. So these guys do not have superhero abilities. You barely get any Brainiac in the pilot. He's just, Adam Strange is talking about him, so there's nothing crazy like that. There's not a lot of conflict. And so I would say the pilot, to me, honestly, objectively, probably like a 6 out of 10, you know what I mean? I just wish there was more action, honestly. But as a big comic book fan, I love the show. I can't wait till it comes back on Wednesday to check out the second episode. So I'm going to continue on with Krypton. Of course, Kelvin, my boy, thank you for the question. I do appreciate it. Let me know, guys. Did you check out Krypton? I'm very curious to know what people think about it. Let me know in the comments section. Like I said, I'll be doing the second episode at the very least, and I'll probably be through till the end because I'm such a big Superman fan. I love me some Superman. But that's going to do it for today's show. Guys, last thing I want to say, of course, thank you to Uncanny. Shout out to Uncanny for sponsoring the show. Big cool things involved with them coming up very soon. Ways where you can get cool stuff like this and support the channel at the same time. That will be launching, I believe, next week, maybe the week after. More details on that. Also, check out the Patreon. Got some really cool videos up there. It really helps us out and supports the channel. But most importantly, and the thing I'm going to be pushing all week, we have launched the Den of Nerds Gaming. If you really like gaming, you want to get info, news, theories, breakdowns, let's plays, things like that for gaming, please go subscribe to the Den of Nerds Gaming. I will link that channel in the comment section below. And if you have friends that are really into gaming, please go tell them about the Den of Nerds Gaming. I think they're really going to dig it. Got more news on that coming. The channel's very new. It only has like 2 videos right now. I'm dropping a Star Wars gaming video on there very soon. But please, go check out the Den of Nerds Gaming, okay? As I always say, I hope everybody's having an awesome and a nerdy day. And I will see you guys tomorrow for the next show.